My name is Eric, and today we'll be talking about the California High-Speed Rail. And I know you guys already heard about this, but let me just give you a little background info. It's just going to be a high-speed rail that's going to connect LA and San Francisco. And at San Francisco, it's going to branch off to Sacramento, and down in LA, it's going to branch off to San Diego. So it's supposed to enhance transportation services for California. But our main proposal is that we should cancel the high-speed rail, and I will back this up with two significance claims. My first main claim is that it's ethically wrong to seize private property of Californians for the proposed California high-speed rail project. So this project is the route is going to travel to the Central Valley, and that's agricultural land. There's farmers, there's people living there, and whether it's having the train on their land or taking the property away from them, it's going to affect these farmers and these people that live there. I want to quote a biography by Jim Powell on John Locke. John Locke expressed the radical view that the government is morally obliged to serve people, namely by protecting life, liberty, and property. So John Locke was an English philosopher, and a lot of the American Revolution was inspired by him, based on him. Jefferson got a lot of ideas for the Declaration of Independence on his papers. And right now the government does protect our life, our liberty, but when it comes to property, they do the exact opposite. They can literally take our property away from us. And that might not be fair to most people, like people who just bought a house somewhere and want to live there, or someone who's been living there for a long time and plans to live for the rest of their life. For example, homeowner Ross Browning said in an article found in PBS.org, we bought this place with the idea that we're going to retire, spend the rest of our lives here. And I see that all going up in smoke now. My first inheritance claim is that the proposed high-speed rail will fail because majority of Californians have a strong belief against it. A NewsHour correspondent for PBS.org, Spencer Michaels, says that a recent field poll shows that 2/3 of the voters would like another chance to vote, and most of them would vote against it. So in 2008, when it first passed, it was very appealing to voters. I mean, that's why it passed. But now that all these problems are arising from it, and all the people being affected by it, at least 2/3 of them would say, I want to vote again, and say no. And it's not only regular Californian citizens, but people that have an area of expertise in the subject. Stanford University professor Richard White, who spent 12 years studying the history of American railroads, says it will become a Vietnam of transportation, easy to begin with and difficult and expensive to stop. White's opposition to the bullet train is unusual because he comes from the political left rather than the right. So, that's saying, White, who would usually support this, but due to his area of expertise in the subject, he knows that it's better not to go with this. And I mean, it's obvious that there's something wrong with the proposal right now. My second inheritance claim is that the cooperation of Californians to build the proposed high-speed rail will be unattainable. An article found at Merced Sunstar by Joshua Smith says that the Merced County Farm Bureau has decided to oppose the high-speed rail project, joining mainly disgruntled agricultural landowners up and down the valley. The Merced County Farm Bureau, it's the largest agricultural organization in the county. It represents more than 1,500 farmers and ranchers in that county. So these are 1,500 farmers and ranchers who just came together and are openly opposing the project. They're fighting for their land, and it's just problems are arising. Just the problems that taking their land, messing with it, it's getting them mad. It's not going to work for them. For example, Steve Gaspar, a farmer, said in a Fresno Bee article, as you can tell, the cows are calm creatures and they don't like to be bothered. It's very peaceful and quiet out here. So, I mean, you can imagine a cow grazing and then having a 220-mile-per-hour train above it and the cow just being startled. In this specific situation, Steve Gaspar's worried that the cow will be too scared to produce milk, and that's going to affect his farming productivities. My second significance claim is that the proposed high-speed rail project will be economically unfavorable towards California. In the article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Juliet Williams says auditor estimated operating costs from 2025 to 2060 could be nearly $97 billion, and said the plan doesn't include any alternatives if it fails to generate significant profits beginning in its first operational year. So, besides the money it takes us to build the project right now, the 35 years coming right after that, it's gonna add another 100 billion to whatever already money it can make. And if the project itself doesn't generate significant profits in the first operational year, as of which right now all the problems that can be seen doesn't look like it's just going to be economically unfavorable. It's not going to bring any money to California. And my next inheritance claim is that the proposed high-speed rail project directly harms California's economy. According to USDebtClock.org, California is $361 billion in debt. That's around $10,000 per person right now. So as of right now, for us living in the state of California, we already owe $10,000. Now, in an article at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution by Juliet Williams, it says, in the draft business plan last fall, California High-Speed Rail Authority said the projected cost had jumped to between 98 billion and 117 billion, while the completion date for the entire first section was pushed back 13 years. So, from the original 33 billion that it was proposed to be, it almost tripled to 100 billion. And plus the 100 billion that it's going to take to operate for the next 35 years. So that's around 200 billion. And it was pushed back 13 years, so that's going to rise inflation costs. So I mean, it's not going to be economically unfavorable, and it's going to directly harm California's economy. My solvency claim for both these claims and issues is simply we need to stop the California high-speed rail. Stopping the California high-speed rail will remove the need of seizing private property, and will remove any ethical issues of taking someone's property for the use of something that's morally good. And it will stopping the high-speed rail project will avoid the burden of debt that comes with it.